Good morning, everyone. My name is Adrian. For those watching this later on YouTube, thank you. Today we're going to do a little bit of upper body mobility, a little bit of core, maybe a bit of glutes and legs, but we're going to stick to the upper half as best we can. For today, you'll need a roller, a peanut, and a ball. If you have all three things, great. If not, I'll be showing you some alternatives. Let's get warmed up though with the chest stretch. So here, this is just a general upper body mobility. We lie face up. If you have a long roller, try to get your tailbone on one end and your head and upper back on the other. If you only have a half roller, just get your upper back and head on the half and then hold the hip bridge. So here, lying face up, align your tailbone with one end, your head and your shoulders with another. Here, palms face up, think shoulders low, and try to glide your hands along the floor with your palms face up the whole time. I have a few options here. If you want to hang out in a particular spot, if you say, ooh, right at, just above the head, I feel a deep stretch, that's fine. Or at the very bottom, again, feel it out. The key part of any of these movements is to listen to your body. See where you're tight, where you're stiff, where you need a little bit of extra attention. So all we're doing is having your palms face up. Avoid your hands turning in. Try to keep your palms face up as best you can. And then as your arms come up, avoid hyperextension. So avoid kind of hyperextending the back. Try to see if you can press your low back into the roller. Maybe about 20 more seconds here. Just really opening up your chest and shoulders, especially if you've been playing tennis or golf and doing a lot of that forward swinging action. It's good to just mobilize. All right. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, we're actually going to sneak in a little bit of a groin stretch. So palms face up. Find that position wherever as we were exploring, find that most deepest position or the place where you felt the best stretch. And from there, put the bottom of your feet together, let your knees fall to the side, and we're going to add a groin stretch on top of wherever we need that deepest back stretch. So we're going to spend in just 20 seconds here. So for me, it's a little bit above my shoulders. This is where I feel the deepest stretch for my back and shoulders. So I'm going to hold it here. You can hold it wherever you like. We're sneaking in a groin stretch, about 10 more seconds. 10, 9, and 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to ease off. Here we're going to turn the roller sideways. We're going to mobilize our upper back. This is just to warm up our back muscles until we get into the more specifics with the ball and the peanut. All right, so here, start right about in between the shoulder blades. And from here, I'm going to cross my arms. You can choose. You have two options. You can cross your arms or put your hands behind your head. So if I'm going to cross my arms here, I'm going to lift my hips up. I'm going to roll right along my middle to upper back and feeling free to dig into any kind of tightness. If you find your head has a hard time staying up, you can also put your hands behind your head and just work your back this way. Either one is fine. Just focus on whatever helps you get that best back stretch. What you can also do for a low impact option is just simply plant your hips down and just kind of arch your back and do some like baby crunches. That way you don't have to actually hold the hip bridge the whole time. You can also just really focus on a particular spot. That's fine too. Again, whatever works for you. All right, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we're going to go for a personal favorite. My personal favorite, I mean, a really rough one. We're gonna go for our lats. I'll demonstrate. We have two options. We have the regular option or the extra fun option. The regular option is hips down on the floor, hand extended or hand behind our head. Either one's fine as long as our elbow is pointed up. So arm extended or arm behind the head doesn't really matter as long as this elbow is up the whole time. So here, if you want to dig into your lat, you can do this with your hip down and just kind of work a little bit at a time. You can move the roller up and work back and forth like so. If you want the extra fun option, you lift your whole hips up and roll back and forth. So again, with your hips touching the floor, your weight is a little more on the ground and less in your lat. With your hips up, more of that weight is distributed right in that lat. So work with what you got. The key part is here, don't go into the side of your ribs. There's no muscle there. Well, there is, but we're not rolling those. It's just gonna hurt. See if you can be at about a 45-degree angle and really work in those lats as best as you can. About 20 seconds here. Again, you can do it like this, just seesawing back and forth, or you can dig right along there by rolling. About 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. Okay. In about 45 seconds here. So again, really working the lat muscle. You can also just seesaw back and forth. There's a particularly tight spot. Got about 40 seconds left. Gotta readjust my headband here. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. Another one for the upper body. We're actually gonna work on our low back a little bit. So this one, I want you to have a seat. This one's gonna be a little bit delicate because it is a bit rough. But here, you're gonna have a seat. You're gonna roll it right to your low back. And from here, we're gonna treat this almost like a crunch, where we're gonna use our hands for bracing. We're just gonna lean back and work forward. So you're gonna lean back over the roller. So just working to our low back muscles. What I don't want you to do is remove your hands for support and just put all the pressure on your low back. That's a bit much. Use your hands for support, or you can put your hands behind the roller too, it's fine. And all we're doing is kind of seesawing, working your back. If this isn't doing anything for you, and it's fine if it isn't, you can also use the wall. So here, you can place this under this guy. You can place the roller along the wall and work your low back that way. So either against the wall or on the floor, either one's fine. Just don't go horizontal on the floor with this one, just because of the low back. I would have a hard time handling that kind of pressure. Again, support yourself with your hands on the floor, on the roller is fine, and then just kind of work your way back, almost like baby crunches, or you can go against the wall and kind of squat up and down. Either one is fine. Just working into our low back. And get my hands are on the floor the whole time. I'm supporting my weight in my hands. Of course, I can lessen that support, but I would recommend against removing your arms. You want that support on the floor. It's almost like a safety net. So 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we're gonna take a little break from the roller. We're gonna grab our hockey ball, lacrosse ball, whatever you have lying around. Just one of these. Mine happens to be a hockey ball, but you can use tennis ball, lacrosse ball, whatever you got. We're gonna start with our rotator cuff, and then we're gonna work into our overall shoulder, our chest, a couple things. I will be using a wall at some point. So if you can, just mentally just check where you can use a wall in your home. So we'll be moving the laptop for that as well. All right, so starting off with our rotator cuff. Here, I want you to have your elbow out 90 degrees. We're gonna take the ball, we're gonna place it underneath our shoulder. If you're not sure where to place it, find your shoulder, then use your fingertips, slide towards the back to feel a natural pivot point, to feel a natural dip to just where your arm ends and your torso begins. Now, I'm gonna show you from the top down just so you can get a better angle. So from here, I'm gonna place the ball, I'm gonna put it right behind my shoulder. So if we can see it from here. So the ball's right here, and this is my shoulder. So my elbow's gonna be down, I'm gonna rotate as best I can and try to tap up and down. Now, there's a tendency for people as they do this to try to, as they go towards the floor, they may extend their arm out. It makes it easier to tap the floor. Try not to do that. Try to keep your arm at 90 degrees and just rotate up and down. Again, the ball is behind my shoulder. It's not behind my tricep. It's not behind my neck or my torso. It's right at that pivot point. And so I'm trying to pivot along that shoulder and work through that rotator cuff. Now, make sure it's also not behind your armpit. You want it right behind your shoulder. Whoops. About 20 more seconds, just really digging through and working on that shoulder mobility and that rotational mobility. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. So now here, I'm gonna turn a little bit this way. Eliminating wise, taking the ball, placing it right underneath our shoulder. You can see that. Yeah, the ball's right here. It's right behind the actual shoulder joint. So here, now we're going to rotate as best we can. You may find that one side is a lot easier than the other. So for me, my left side is quite a bit easier versus my right side is a bit tighter. Everyone's different. Feel free to just work within your limits. Don't try to push it. About 15, 20 more seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Next, we're going to use actually a wall and the ball. So I'm going to have to adjust the view here. Actually going to lift this whole contraption up. Sorry. Here we go. Okay. Turn it just towards the wall here. Okay, great. Don't need this. So we're going to use a wall. We're going to work on our chest and shoulders. So here, finding our pec, actually I should go closer for this. Finding our pec, so the way you find that is take our fingertips, go underneath our armpit, grab that whole chunk of muscle there. Then we're going to place the ball right where that muscle goes into our shoulder. So right about here. We're going to press that into the wall as best we can. Once we press that into the wall, then we're going to work our back arm up and down like this. I should show you from the back. Just working our arm like so. So we're taking that deep stretch we did on the roller, this mobilizing one, and we're going to add a ball to it and really work into any kind of tissue. The benefit of the ball here as well is that you can adjust where you feel the pressure. So as your arm moves up and down, or you can keep your arm in the same place, you can squat a little bit up and down and really press into any kind of tightness on the pec tissue. You have a few other options as well. If you want to work from here and work a little bit kind of just along the upper pec tissue here, that's fine too. Avoid going low or towards your sternum. This is all just bone here. Try to stick to just the middle to upper part of your pec. About 25 more seconds here. It's really working into any kind of tissue, whatever we got going on. Ten seconds, 10, 9, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Same thing now on the other side. So about a minute here. 5. So again, you can stick your arm out, you can keep it in, you can mobilize it up and down like so, or you can pick just a particularly tough spot, kind of work into that area. Everyone's different, find what works for you. About 15 seconds. And 3, 2, 1. Excellent. From here, now we're going to do our middle shoulder and then our middle back. So here we're going to take the ball, we're going to place it right in the middle of our shoulder. If you're not sure where that is, find your collarbone. So see your collarbone, follow it right to the end of kind of the tip of your shoulder, and go maybe 2 or 3 inches down, right in the middle of your shoulder muscle. We're going to press that against the wall. We're going to roll up and down and just massage right along this whole area. So you're just working up and down. So keeping this hand loose as well. And you're just working up and down. You can do little circles if you want. Only be here for about 35 more seconds. You can also do little shoulder rolls or shoulder circles. That's fine too, whatever works. So here we're mobilizing what's called our middle deltoid, or our middle shoulder. And the way you make it harder is just lean into the wall a little more. About 15 seconds. And 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Other side. So here, working that shoulder, placing right in the middle. Trying to relax this arm as much as we can and roll up and down. So for me, I can do little shoulder circles like this. I'm just rolling my whole upper body and rotating. You can also do just straight up and down. Or if there's a particularly sore spot, you can just lean and hold it. About 50 more seconds. And 3, 2, and 1. All right. Next, we're going to do our upper to middle back. We're going to work along our rhomboids. We're going to take the ball. We're going to place it right between our spine and our shoulder blades, right about there. And our goal is to roll up and down right along this whole strip. So you never want it on top of your shoulder blade. You want it in between your spine and your shoulder blade. So that you can do it on the floor. You can use the wall. I'm going to use the wall. You can use whatever you have at home. So taking the taking the ball, placing it behind, and then making sure there's nothing that's going to hit your head. You're going to cross your arms as best you can. This actually helps pull your shoulder blades away from each other. And you're going to roll up and down. We're going to be here for about a minute, 10 seconds, really taking our time and sinking in, digging into whatever you got going on. Think slow, deep breaths. And breathe through your stomach the whole time. About 10 more seconds. 10. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Switching sides. So easy way to switch sides is just to move your whole body over, maybe 3 or 4 inches, and hug yourself again and work that other side. So about a minute and a half here, taking our time. All right, about 25 seconds left. Just really digging into any kind of tension right between your spine and your shoulder blade. About 15 more to go. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, easy off. All right. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to switch to the peanut. We're going to do a little bit of neck and shoulders. So we're going to mobilize. We're going to mobilize for our neck and shoulders. This is where if you have a yoga block, grab it. If you don't, that's okay. We don't need one, but it just helps enhance the neck rolling. So here I'm going to move us back down to the floor. All right. Excellent. There we go. And if you have a yoga block, let's use it. So I'm going to grab one now. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take your peanut. We're going to place it. We're going to dust it off if it's seen some time. We're going to place it right on top of the yoga block. So here we're going to make a little stand like so, with a block like this, and peanut right on top. If you don't have a block, that's okay. You can just right from the floor. I'll show you both. So here, taking the peanut, placing it right between each vertebrae. Make sure it's kind of tight just behind the, almost behind your ears. And slowly roll up and down like so. This is working through any kind of tension. And if you have the block, you can place it on top, and all it does is it elevates the roller and gives you a little more control over where you can adjust the tension. So here, the key part is making sure that your neck is right in the center of the peanut. You don't want it on either side. You want your neck right in the center so that these two are pressing on the muscles of your neck. At no point should you feel any pressure directly in the center. You don't want to press into your spine. That's a very sensitive area. Make sure you're sticking to just some muscles on either side of your neck. And so here, just working back and forth into any kind of tension. We're going to be here for about a minute and a half. You can take your time. move this, sorry. There we go. Excellent. About 45 seconds left, just really taking our time. Nodding up and down. If you want, you can lean a little bit to the left or lean a little bit to the right. I do mean a little bit, maybe 10 degrees. Just trying to slowly work through any kind of tension in the center of our neck. This is also good if you tend to have tight jaw muscles. Tend to clench your teeth. Also a good one just to slowly work through it. And 10, 9, 8, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so from here, I actually do some stretching. So we're gonna stretch out our lats and our abdomen, and we're gonna go into some wrist and forearm stretches. So here I start off with just a nice easy one, just child's pose. No particular special skill set needed here. We're just gonna go onto our hands and knees. We're gonna stretch our arms out as far as we can. And sit back and go for just a nice upper back and lat stretch. So you're about 30, 35 seconds just sitting back, hands outstretched. Head can be on the floor or up, doesn't matter. Try to sit back and just slowly stretch through. With this one, with each breath, see if you can just lower your stomach to the floor just a little more. That's fine too. Mentioned earlier that we're going to do some glutes. I'm going to be honest, we probably aren't. We're going to stick to the upper body, but there's lots of videos before this that focus on the lower body. We're going to stick to the upper body today. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 1. All right, from here, we're gonna go into what's called the cobra. And we have two options. We have like a baby cobra or a regular cobra. So here, the baby option is just on your elbows and trying to just gently pressing up and trying to see if you can squeeze back in your shoulder blades. Or you can fully press up, put your hands beneath your shoulders, squeeze back, roll those shoulders back, and peel off the ground. Trying to work into any kind of tension along your abdomen. Let's be here for about 20 seconds. If you remember to breathe slowly, keep the shoulders low, keep that posture and neck nice and tall. And 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, here let's do the forearm and wrist stretches. All right, I'm going to show you a couple of options for your forearms and wrists, especially if you're playing tennis and golf. It's going to be a bit rough. So here, the gentle option is to just use your own hands and pull. So we're going to do the gentle option first for about 30 seconds, and the slightly more aggressive option for an additional 30 seconds. If the aggressive option is too much, just go back and continue to do the less aggressive option. So for the top, for the bottom of our forearms, or the inside of our forearms, we're gonna stack our palms or our fingertips on top of each other. I'm gonna push whichever form I want to stretch. I'm gonna push that wrist forward. I'm gonna pull back gently, and the key part is gently, on this palm and wrist. So here, I'm gonna press through. What I should be feeling is a nice stretch right along here. So if you notice my hands, what I'm not doing is I'm not just yanking on my fingertips. That is incredibly painful for no reason. I'm trying to stack my knuckles and actually pull from. I'm going to pull from the palm. I'm not trying to break my fingers. I'm trying to pull from the palm and just hold it open. So again, do not yank your fingers, please. They are important and you need them. So just focusing on the form, stretch as best you can. So 10 more seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing off. Shake it off if you need to. Other side. So again, I'm stacking it so that my knuckles actually cross over each other because I'm pulling from my palm, not from my fingertips. This will just only cause you pain unnecessarily. Stick to the palm. And here, stretching through, and you should feel a nice stretch right along the forearm. About 12 seconds. Three, 2, 1. Excellent. Shake those off. Another variation actually is a prayer stretch where you put your hands together and push your wrist towards the floor. That's another way to gently stretch the forearm. So you can go back to this when we do the aggressive part. So back of the palm or top of the forearms, same thing. I'm gonna kind of give myself a handshake. I'm gonna grab ideally the knuckles and a little bit above. And I'm gonna gently pull that down and lengthen this arm. To feel a nice stretch, hopefully along the top of my forearms. So hold this one for about 20 more seconds. Same deal, you can also do this and push your elbows down on both if you want a variation of the gentle stretch. Either or is a-okay. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shaking it off, other side. So again, I'm grabbing my palm, I'm grabbing at least about half of my palm here, and I'm pulling through there as much as I can, lengthening this arm. Again, don't try to grab just your fingertips. It's only going to cause you unnecessary pain. Trying to stretch along the forearms. About 15 seconds here, and I'm going to switch to the floor for the slightly more aggressive ones. But of course, if those are too aggressive, you can just go back and do an extra 30 seconds of either side. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake it off. All right. Here, I'm going to show you the bottom of the forearms stretch. So something slightly aggressive. We have two options. We can have our fingertips either just slightly off horizontal or fully vertical. I'll show you from the front. So we want our hands either like this, so not quite pointing away from each other, but a little bit down, or we can fully just have our fingertips face our knees. We're going to place our palms on the ground, and from here, we're going to actually lean back and feel a nice stretch along the forearms. I'm going to show you from the front. So here, and if at any point you're doing this one, you're like, Adrian, absolutely not. This feels really sketchy. Stop. Go back to the gentle one. So here, my fingertips are towards my knees. My wrist is down like this. My fingertips are towards my knees. My wrists are down. And from here, I lean back. I'm stretching right along my forearms here. So I'm going to hold this one for an additional 20 seconds. If you look at this one and be like, no way, Adrian, that's totally fine. Don't force yourself. Go back to the gentle one. Work with what you got. About 12 more seconds here. 12, 11, 10, and 5, 4, 3, 2. Gently rotate your fingertips towards the front. Whew, shake those off. All right, and now same thing here for the wrists. We're actually going to put the back wrist on the floor, and we're just going to lean back a little bit. I can show you from the side. We're just using the floor as leverage. Just trying to really slowly So here, place my wrist down and working my way back. Now, if you don't feel this one, if this one feels awkward, again, just do this one or back our wrists together. Either one's fine, whatever works for you. Good. About 15 seconds here, 15. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shaking it off. Whew, good stuff. All right, so we have another wrists are all nice and mobilized. We have 2 more stretches. We're just going to quickly stretch through our upper body and neck. By upper body, I mean upper traps. So here, take one arm behind our back. We're going to tilt our head in the opposite direction. So for me, my right hand is behind my back. My head is towards my left. I'm just really stretching through this upper trap and a little bit into the shoulder. You can sit anywhere you want. You can also do this one standing. That's fine too. Take slow, deep breaths. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. This is hand behind my back. Head towards the right. And just gently stretch through any kind of tension on the left side of my neck. And 3, 2, and 1. All right. Thank you everyone who watched this later on YouTube, and thank you everyone who attended live. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we get to see you guys soon for some of our outdoor programming. All right, everyone have a fabulous day.